When I lost my job, I really had two choices. I could pretend it wasn't happening, just sit there wallowing in it, or I could figure out what I needed to do next and get to it. The old me would have spiraled. Thanks to Agile, I handle things differently now, but that was not always the case. Let me explain. I've never been good at self-reflection. I just stop after bashing myself. If anything goes wrong, and actually, if I think back, sometimes it was even when things were probably okay. I have a brilliant way of making things negative. I'm really stupid. Why did I do that? I'm never going to get this done. I'm never going to accomplish whatever. I'm a moron. Those are my go-tos. My starter default pack. There's no follow-up. There's no learning from that, just straight up negativity. So let me tell you a little story. At my previous employer, my group had decided we were going to switch from waterfall to Agile. It was going to change everything. So to make this magic happen, they brought in an instructor to teach us all the ways of Agile. As an aside, it was a great class. Someone from Mountain Goat Software came in. He was a great instructor, very engaging. And before you start hunting around, there's no coupons. I'm not affiliated. There's no cash from this. I'm just continue to be impressed. Yeah. So the class, the instructor told us about Agile, specifically Scrum, because that was the methodology we were going to use. I really bought into it and thought it would work really great. I was looking forward to it. I started thinking about the principles with Agile and leaning more into some of the ceremonies with Scrum, how it's not just what went wrong, but it's doing a thing and then reflecting and adapting from that. It's about learning and moving forward. And for my IT peeps in the back there, I'm talking manifesto number 12. The key things with Agile that relate to what I'm talking about here is really that learning, not just bashing yourself. The negativity doesn't help anything. It just made me feel like crap. I didn't learn anything from it. And I just kept on a wheel. There's no improvement there. But Agile, I do the thing and then I think about it. What went well? Something constructed. What made you think you're stupid? So here are the things that you said didn't work well, why you're stupid. But within this thing that you're bashing yourself for, what are some good things you can think of? There's got to be something. And then action items. How are you going to improve? It just really changed how I think about things. It was not just about the projects at work. It was about the reflecting, the adjusting, and moving forward from that. It just brought on a whole new way of thinking for me, just being smarter with the bashing, I guess, because the bashings continue. The difference now is that I am more constructive with the bashing. I did mention at the beginning of this video that before Agile, this layoff would have crushed me. And I do have a freak out story. Here's the difference in how I handled things before with something monumental like a layoff. Same company, slightly different scenarios. My prior company, I had been working there for a few years, and my previous company bought out who I was working for. As part of that, decided to just sweep in with massive layoffs. And I'm talking weekly, multiple people coming into work and walking back out within the hour with a box of their things, like not even a notice. It was tough. It's still irritating to me. And this is almost 20 years ago. Everybody there, understandably, was on high alert. My lead told me one day that my name was missing from the mailboxes and was like, uh-oh, that's the first sign. The freak level went way up. I was like, no, I got to get out of here before they lay me off. So I got another job. When I give my notice to my manager, he tells me he wished I would have talked to him because our team was not on any list for the layouts. By that time, it was too late. And that whole time period, that did not help. I didn't think. I just went to, they're going to get rid of you. You suck. And burn rubber getting out of there. Now thinking after Agile times, 2024, the layoff happened. I handled it differently. I took a beat to think about the situation and plan my actions. What's the good? What's the bad? What am I going to do about it? I made a plan. I did not have savings. I was zero prepared. My resume was out of date, but I worked hard to get everything under control. I used ChatGPT. I took all the classes I could. I still bashed myself. A lot of negativity there, but I'm kind of used to this cycle now. So if I find myself in that funk, I can allow it, but then I have to think, okay, what's going on here? What's the good? What's the bad? Action items. Let's do this. I can't just sit in the negativity. I'm not always going to be able to solve the thing. Sometimes like the layoff, I couldn't do anything about it. It happened. I couldn't talk my way back into the job. So it's done. But I can do things around it, if that makes sense. Thinking about this in a more generic way, I don't just apply Agile when something goes really crazy. I have some everyday examples. Let's go grocery shopping. I know what's in my damn house. I'm competent. I don't need a list. I get my stuff. I come home and maybe I forgot some things and now I have too much milk. Okay, so I can just be like, moron, and do nothing and then just keep repeating that pattern. Or I did get some stuff. That's good. But I forgot some stuff and I don't want to do that. I can adapt and change by making a list, being more prepared in the future. Our next iteration, because we're always improving. So I make a list, I go to the grocery store, and I probably still forgot some things, but maybe I didn't bring home things I wasn't supposed to, or not as many. So action item, the list works, but not completely. So how can we improve? Check the cupboards, check in with the fam. I iterate, I adapt. I will probably continue to forget things, continue to bring things home that I didn't intend to, but I'm going to get to a point where it's acceptable and I drop looking at the grocery store agility because it's at a point where that's the best it's going to be. Maybe if it gets out of control again, I revisit, but that's it. And I can do this with a bunch of stuff, but one more example. Who doesn't do a New Year's resolution? Every year, I would say, this is it. I am going to lose this weight. I picture it. It's going to happen. No action plan. Let's go. And then I avoid that it's not working until about February. And then I go into the bashing. This time I'm not, well, I might be a moron still. I might be stupid, but now I'm fat. I'll always be fat. I'm a loser. That doesn't help. It's not going to get me anywhere. There's no action item there. So the only repeat is that I'm just going to try again, not try again because I didn't make an action plan. I'm just going to probably repeat it because I did every year. I would say the same thing and then bash myself. So the only thing I was getting was a guaranteed bashing session. But now, and I don't tend to do New Year's resolutions. It's not something I do now, but for the sake of this example, the New Year's resolution, I reflect on what I want to change and make the action plan. When I don't like what I would like to have, if there's no plan, then nothing's going to change. Back in bashing mode. Part of the action plan is going to be some milestones that I want to achieve, and then just checking in with myself to make sure I'm doing it or seeing if I want to continue this. What are some New Year's resolutions that you've done that might be smaller? Maybe for all of January, you don't go out every weekend. That's a little bit easier. You make the plan not to go out every weekend and check in with yourself. Do you go out this weekend? I remember all weekend and no, I did not go out. At the end of January, then you reflect on it. Was I happy with that? Whatever the reasons were that you didn't go out, do you want to continue with that or are you good? That would be the New Year's thing. Agile has taught me, you do the thing, you reflect, you adapt. It's not just about focusing on what's wrong. I'm not saying Agile is therapy, but it has completely changed how I handle things. If you tend to bash yourself, I challenge you to try this. Instead of just saying, I suck, think about it. Why are you saying that? What is the situation? And put it into, I did this and this is why. And if it's something that you feel you need to change, then what's the action plan? There's enough things in life without putting the negative energy on ourselves. I would love to hear your comments on, well, what you think of this. If there's things that you have tried that have helped you, I would love to hear it. And if none of this makes sense, that's fine. I can be crazy. I'm going to still do it.